The 2018 Truman women's soccer team was picked to finish fifth by the Great Lakes Valley Conference league coaches in the annual preseason coaches poll released by the league on Wednesday. Head coach Mike Cannon, entering his 26th season on the sidelines at Truman, is excited for the new year to kick off.
Excited. I think we had a good preseason so far. Just a weekend. We had the Italy trip, so that kind of got us off to a little quicker start too. First time we could take incoming freshmen, and we took 10 of our 13. So I think that really helped with just not just our play on the field, but just kids being comfortable and confident and getting to know each other a little bit better earlier. We got a lot of work to do still, but I think our depth is better. There's a lot of our younger kids that played last year, a year older, and they're playing at a really high level right now. We got like I said, big freshman class, but some talent in that class too. So I'm pretty excited. And we have some reestablishing to do as far as we didn't have the best season last year for us, and our goal is to get right back top of the conference and national tournament and all that kind of stuff. And I think we have the tools to do it. Just a matter now it's just figuring out who goes where and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
the Bulldogs were 6-6-5 last year and 6-4-4 in the GLVC, garnered 117 points out of the 14 teams in the league. McKendree took home 159 points and 6 first-place votes to sit atop the poll, followed by Quincy with 151 points and 5 first-place tallies, and Bellarmine with 149 points and 3 first-place nods. The Bulldogs trailed Maryville University in the poll as the Saints received 130 points and knocked Truman out of the first round of the GLVC tournament last year. In order to return to the conference and the NCAA tournament, the Bulldogs will need to get off to a good start.
We're going to get off to a good start. Thankfully we're home preseason first weekend. We don't really travel super far this year, even in conference. But like non-conference, we need to win some games. Non-conference, we got to establish winning on the road. We go to Northwest Missouri and Upper Iowa the second weekend, so we got to get some results on the road to show that we can do it. We're on grass for our first, including preseason, like 9 games, which is nice for once. But we'll have to show that we can play on turf too. We're just gonna have to, we're gonna have to finish in that top 2-3 in the conference and do well non-conference and beat some of the teams that are always there. Quincy, McKendree. I think the conference it'll be interesting this year. There's been a couple coaching changes. There's a few schools like last year, like us, Rockers, a few schools that usually finish a little further up, dropped off a little bit, and there's some schools that are starting to push. Illinois Springfield, Southern Indiana, Maryville. So it's gonna be interesting. No easy game.
A hallmark of Mike Cannon's teams at Truman is the solid defensive play. The Bulldogs, since joining the GLVC, have shut out 57 opponents since 2013. While the Bulldogs will look to replace graduated keeper Katie Mattingly with a pair of freshmen, the strong backline of defense returns anchored by 2-time All-GLVC defender Laura Nye.
We're kind of noted for, not lower scoring games, but we do a good job usually limiting chances, limiting goals. I think, having, we have 2 freshman keepers, just kind of how it worked out that we graduated our keepers from last year, and, we have 2 freshman keepers, and they're both having good preseasons, but it's not the same until they get experience. I think team defense is going to be the real key, especially our back line doing a good job of, again, limiting shots, limiting chances, following shots in case there's rebounds. We've had 1 scrimmage so far, and good to see. I think we're further ahead of where we were last year. Even just offensively, we have more weapons. So ideally, we'll score more, and hopefully we'll still be good defensively. Because even last year, wasn't the best year we've had, but we really didn't give up that many goals anyway. Just we didn't score that much. So we can be a little bit better defensively this year with new keepers. And also score a little bit more. I like our chances for getting.
On the offensive end, the return of sophomore Hannah Burke from a year away should bolster the Bulldog attack. Burke scored a team-leading 6 goals her freshman season and will be paired by last year's offensive leaders Isabel Kurzban and Paige Peterson.
More results. Hannah Burke was her freshman year, 2 years ago. Was our leading scorer. We kind of threw her right in behind the forwards and. scored some good goals. I mean, she's just a good all-around player. We could probably play her like anywhere up the middle of the field. But it's nice to get her back. You're going to see, what we were missing last year with her. And then, Paige had a very good freshman year, especially probably the second half of the season when she was getting more and more playing time, scored some great goals. I mean, her and Hannah both just strike the ball so well, so they can, they can change the point of attack. They're good on the ball. They can hold it for us, but they can also just, rip away on goal. And, I think Paige is going to have even more of an impact this year, just more confident, more comfortable in her role. But they'll both be integral to like just the middle of the field for us.
The Bulldogs got a jump start on the season with a tour of Italy in late July and early August. The team traveled the Italian countryside with stops in Milan, Venice, and Rome while playing some friendlies against international competition.
I mean, it was a wonderful experience. I think definitely being able to take the incoming freshmen was a new wrinkle, and we've gone. This is the fourth time we've done this. First time we could take freshmen, and it definitely changed it. And I wasn't sure. Again, I know these kids, but I don't know them as well as I know the older kids. And they were great. The older kids were great as far as just integrating them, and actually it turned out even better than I thought it would. We didn't have really any issues. They had a good time. I feel like they fit in more now already. Like usually first week you're starting to go like, okay, now they're maybe starting to fit in a little bit. Like before we even started last week, coming back from Italy, landing in St. Louis, it's like, all right, we got a pretty good group. They're getting along really well.
Truman will play 2 more exhibition matches this weekend, both at the Truman Soccer Park. On Saturday, they will face Missouri Western, and on Sunday, Co-College. Both kickoffs are set for 1 o'clock and are free to the public. Truman will open the regular season at home next Friday, August 31st, against Davenport, Michigan, also at 1 p.m.